Hello and welcome to Joy News at 6. The news is live on Joy 99.7 and hits 103.9 FM in Accra. In Kumasi on Love 99.5 FM and over 30 affiliates across Ghana's 16 regions, including Shine FM Akachi, Radio Max Takrady and Rage in Tamale. Get radio, TV and online content on the myjoyonline.com interactive app for Android and iOS devices. Coming up, Economist Intelligence Unit predicts delay in IMF board approval for Ghana, citing prolonged external debt restructuring as the reason. But when could Ghana have a deal?
I do not foresee an IMF deal closing until July 2023.
President Akufo-Addo is, however, hopeful.
With the progress made so far, we expect the IMF board to consider Ghana's program for imminent approval after the financing assurances are provided.
Also, management of the Tamale Teaching Hospital vows to punish staff found culpable in an alleged physical assault of 3 persons, including a freshly delivered mother at the Tamale Teaching Hospital.
If it comes out that the security did something wrong, definitely every punishment legally will be given to the person.
In business,
15 out of 21 banks record losses in 2021 as a result of domestic debt exchange program. Details on the Joy Business Report.
And later, incumbent Ningo Prampram MP Sam George prepares for battle as Michael Tetekweti vows to unseat him.
Say follow who know, Mambi. We are choosing experience over experiment.
I am Maame Esi Thompson. Thanks for choosing us. In our first story, Ghana's hope of securing an IMF fund board approval soon may delay owing to prolonged external debt restructuring negotiations and the involvement of numerous stakeholders in the process. This is according to London-based Economist Intelligence Unit. The EIU, in its 2023 country report on Ghana, stated that the conclusion of a domestic debt swap operation in February and increasing international attention on speeding up external debt restructurings, our core forecast remains that the IMF program will be approved by mid-2023. Former Minority Leader Haruna Idrisu says the earliest will be in July.
I do not foresee an IMF deal closing until July 2023. This economy will need about 10.5 billion to end this year, and the expectation is that about 3 billion will come from the IMF, another 3 billion from bilateral, multilateral donors. The other 4.6 billion, government has no clue where that will come from. We are in distress. Major economic distress. We've gone beyond an economic crisis.
You heard former Minority Leader Haruna Idrisu, but President Akufo-Addo is hopeful a deal will be reached soon with the IMF.
We are assured that the next round of meetings of the Paris Club will result in the formation of an official creditor committee, inclusive of China, and the provision of financing assurances. The IMF and the World Bank have been very supportive in this journey. With the progress made so far, we expect the IMF board to consider Ghana's program for imminent approval after the financing assurances are provided.
Also, President Akufo-Addo says nothing will give him greater pleasure than bringing a lasting solution to the unending Boko conflict. The president was speaking at the May Day celebrations in Bolgatanga.
Not only are we enhancing as we speak the security deployment in the area to promote more strongly the rule of law and hold accountable all who violate law and order in the area, we're also intensifying the efforts to find a solution to the customary tensions that underline the Boko conflict so that hopefully a final resolution of that conflict can be attained.
You heard President Akufo-Addo. The Ghana Water Company Limited says it has begun minimal spillage of the Weja Dam ahead of a full-blown one in the coming days. Communities expected to be affected by the spillage include Weja, Oblogo, Tetegu and Gbawe, the Ghana Water Company, is warning citizens living downstream to begin evacuating the vicinity to avoid a disaster. Communications Manager Stanley Marty spoke to Joy News.
We're expecting spillage to begin maybe around Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening. But unfortunately, the dam levels rose up beyond our expectation yesterday, so we had to start spilling. So yesterday in the evening, we started minimal spillage with one gate, and we are still monitoring the inflows so that we will increase it if the need arises. We have started minimal spillage because we want everybody to evacuate the area for.
Communications Manager at the Ghana Water Company Limited, Stanley Marty.
You are pushing down people. That's the man standing. You are pushing down the people.
And those are sounds of a squabble between a security man and a patient at the Tamale Teaching Hospital. The patient, identified as Madame Salamatu Ali, was alleged to have stepped out of her ward to pay her medical bills after being discharged. However, returning to pick up her baby, the security man manning the front door refused to grant her entry into the ward, pushing her. Public Relations Officer in the hospital, Aliu Zubairu, says management is conducting investigations into the matter.
Management has swiftly moved in. We are in a meeting at the moment, and we're looking at what really transpired. And then beyond that, we definitely will want to have an investigative report. And if it comes out that the security did something wrong, definitely every punishment legally will be given to the person. So that is what we are doing at the moment.
And that's Public Relations Officer at the Tamale Teaching Hospital, Aliu Zubairu. And today on election headquarters, in our build-up ahead of the opposition NDC primaries, we shine a light on Ningo Prampram, where incumbent MP Sam George is preparing for the battle of his life. Ifemo constituency chairman Michael Tetekwite is gaining grounds, vowing to unseat him. Kwekwa Santi looks ahead to what will be a contentious primaries.
Sam George is coming up against a very resourceful Michael Tetekwite, who was once chairman of the constituency. Sam George is framing this election on experience, as he says his opponent does not have what it takes to beat the NPP to retain the Ningo Prampram seat for the NDC.
We are choosing experience over experiment. Wawa color TV. Now I black and white.
His opponent, meanwhile, a media-shy Michael Tetekwite, is slowly warming up to delegates in the constituency, as was evident in the cheers he received when John Mahama visited the constituency.
We have Honorable Samuel Jata George as one of the aspirants. We also have Michael Tetekwite, one of the aspirants.
With just 2 weeks to this election, some branch executives in the constituency, numbering about 54, say despite having been elected, they are yet to be sworn in, alleging this is a ploy to favor a specific candidate. For Joy News, Kwekwa Asante.
Now still on politics, flag bearer hopeful of the opposition National Democratic Congress, Kojo Bonsu, says he will select his running mate from the Volta region if elected to lead the party in the 2024 elections. According to him, the region's unflinching support for the NDC needs recognition, hence his decision to partner an indigene from Volta.
Volta region has been our backbone. They call it our World Bank. I don't believe in that. Backbone. Voltarians are ready for us. They're always there for us. When the election results are coming, everybody's waiting to hear Ketu South. Aren't we proud of that? They've been there for us. So let's also give them the support by bringing somebody from there to come and become our vice president. So I think that let's not call it a World Bank, but I would call it a backbone and a strong pillar of NDC.
And later today, members of parliament have been recalled by Speaker Alban Bagbin to come and work on what the Speaker calls serious government business. MPs have been on recess for a month now and were not expected back until later this month. But Joy News understands a number of loan agreements will be considered by the House, and members are expected to sit for only today. Parliamentary Affairs correspondent Kwekwa Sante will be in Parliament and will bring every single detail as and when it unravels. Now, stay with Joy News and we'll be bringing you all the details. And that's all for this package. You heard in our top story, the Economist Intelligence Unit predicting a delay in IMF board approval for Ghana, citing prolonged external debt restructuring as the reason. Business is up next on the Supermarket.